The Green Mile has secrets that many fans don't know about. It's considered one of the best adaptations of a Stephen King story, a moving film that even tough viewers have cried. This tale makes us care about a man on death row. For many movie lovers, The Green Mile is one of the most emotional films ever made. But what if I told you there are hidden secrets that even the biggest fans haven't found? Today, we will explore the mysteries of The Green Mile, insights from the Clarke crew who created this cherished film. We will look at hidden meanings, behind-the-scenes stories and details in the movie that change how we see Paul Edgecomb's journey. You'll learn about Tom Hanks's surprising insights into his character's spiritual journey, Clarke Duncan's remarkable change into John Coffey, and scenes that could have changed the film's meaning. This is the untold story of The Green Mile. By the end, you will see The Green Mile in a whole new way, the film that almost wasn't. Before we discuss the cast's insights, it's important to note that The Green Mile almost didn't reach theaters. After The Shawshank Redemption did not do well at the box office, director Frank Darabont was cautious about adapting another Stephen King prison story. Studios were also doubtful, questioning whether people would watch a 3-hour drama about death row. Tom Hanks played a key role in getting the film approved. His popularity from films like Forrest Gump and Saving Private Ryan caught the attention of studios. However, they wanted to reduce the film's length. Few people realized that Darabont took a significant risk by insisting on keeping the film's original runtime. He believed the story required every minute to develop its characters and emotional depth. This commitment to artistic integrity helped create one of Hollywood's most moving films, a story that needed every minute to touch our hearts. The prison that made the Mile building, the entire death row set from scratch, was a key element in creating the realistic atmosphere. Unlike The Shawshank Redemption, filmed in a real prison, The Green Mile needed a custom environment to fit the story. Production designer Terrence Marsh, who won Oscars for Dr. Zhivago and Oliver, built the Mile with historical accuracy. The green linoleum that gives the Mile its name matched the shade used in southern prisons of that era. The wiring and light fixtures were also historically accurate. David Morse, who played Brutus Brutal Howell, spoke about how the detailed set influenced the cast's performances. That set was something else. The Green Mile corridor was designed to create a feeling of growing dread. As you walk further down it, the cells become darker and the lighting turns more ominous. The set was more than just a background. It became a character in the film. The production team also made a fully functional electric chair named Old Sparky to simulate the execution scenes realistically. Special effects coordinator Charles Gibson built the chair to create controlled smoke and lighting effects, making the execution scenes disturbingly lifelike. Sam Rockwell, who played Wild Bill Wharton, mentioned that the execution scenes created a tense atmosphere on set. For Dell's botched execution, the team used multiple cameras to capture the scene in as few takes as possible, since the prosthetic effects and pyrotechnics were both costly and emotionally draining for the cast and crew. The cast shared that Frank Darabont allowed them to experience the cell block in complete silence before filming started. For one afternoon, the actors stood in their characters' positions, guards at their posts, prisoners in their cells, and were told to exist in the space without talking. This exercise helped them understand the weight and routine of prison life, which shaped their performances. The characters behind the characters. Many viewers might not know that the leading actors in The Green Mile created detailed backgrounds for their characters, which improved their performances. Tom Hanks imagined Paul Edgecomb as a World War I veteran, explaining his kindness and reactions to cruelty. Clarke Duncan prepared for John Coffey by observing hospital patients, displaying a childlike vulnerability in his body language that shifted to confidence during healing moments. Doug Hutchison, who played Percy Wetmore, drew from his experiences with childhood bullies to make Percy's sadism feel real. These backgrounds helped turn the film from a supernatural drama into a profoundly human story. The Green Mile is full of symbols that many people overlook on their first viewing. The color green appears throughout the film and represents death and transformation. This is seen in the execution chamber, curtains, and Dell's sponge. John Coffey's healing skills reach beyond just fixing physical problems. He brings spiritual changes to those he helps. He makes Paul rethink his role in executions and helps restore innocence to Melinda. The film also includes biblical references. John's words echo Psalm 102, making him seem Christ-like. Important moments, such as when John's chains are removed, visually mirror Christ's crucifixion, deepening the spiritual connection. Mr. Jingles, the mouse, acts as a moral compass, showing how to treat the vulnerable. Del shows kindness to him, while Percy tries to kill him. These actions hint at their later decisions regarding John Coffey. Ultimately, Mr. Jingles represents the lasting impact of John's grace, living much longer than a typical mouse, much like Paul's own life, which was shaped by John's influence. The weather as storytelling. The weather is essential to the Green Mile's story. A storm during Del's failed execution shows chaos in the prison, while John's confession happens on a calm day. His execution occurs under a clear, moonlit sky, showing how he accepts his fate. Paul visits Coffey's grave on the first sunny day in the epilogue, the only scene with nice weather. The contrast highlights the dark side of prison life and shows Paul's peace after carrying his burden for many years. Weather enhances the emotional impact of each scene, which viewers often overlook. John Coffey's confession about his fear of the dark is a touching moment in the film. This scene from Stephen King's novel shows Coffey's vulnerability despite his special powers. The guards decide not to use a hood during his execution, which is a sign of mercy. The relationship between Percy Wetmore and Wild Bill Wharton shows two kinds of evil: Percy's institutional power and Wild Bill's random violence. Their interactions hint at Percy's breakdown during Del's execution, connecting their stories. Director Frank Darabont faced pressure to reduce Percy's role, but felt it was important to show ordinary evil alongside Wild Bill's chaos. This helps viewers grasp the moral weight of John's execution. Percy's fate, ending up catatonic in a mental institution, becomes more meaningful since he becomes as helpless as those he once tormented, protected by the same system he exploited. The miracle in the Green Mile, not what you think. Many viewers think the central miracle in the film is John Coffey's healing power, but there's a deeper interpretation to consider. The true miracle is not John's special abilities, it's the change in Paul and the other guards. At the beginning, these men are just doing their jobs as part of a system that carries out executions. By the end, they are willing to risk everything, their jobs, their freedom, and even their lives, to try to save an innocent man. This insight changes the film from a story about supernatural events to a reflection on how people can awaken their sense of right and wrong, even in a strict system. John experiences his miracle too. He finds men who treat him respectfully and believe in his innocence, even if they cannot save him. After a life of being feared and misunderstood, he finally feels compassion. This is significant. This understanding of miracles explains why the film connects with so many people. It's not just about supernatural healing. It's about the miracle of ordinary people awakening to recognize injustice and refusing to support it, even when it costs them. The famous ending, almost completely different. The Green Mile almost had a different ending. The powerful final scene shows an older Paul Edgecomb still alive decades later because of John's touch. Studio executives wanted to cut this ending and finish the film with John's execution. They thought the epilogue, which features Paul in a nursing home, was unnecessary and that the film was already too long. However, director Frank Darabont fought to keep the epilogue because the film is not just about death. It's about living with the consequences of our choices. Without seeing Paul later in life, still affected by the execution of an innocent man, the audience would miss the true meaning of the story. Interestingly, they filmed the scenes with older Paul first. This helps set the emotional tone for the entire film, allowing the story to focus on memory and regret. It seems complicated to understand why the executives wanted to cut those scenes, as they complete the story so well. Without that ending, The Green Mile would feel different. It would be a story about magic rather than a reflection on mortality, guilt, and the high cost of being part of evil, even if, unintentionally, the scenes you never saw. The Green Mile's runtime of 3 hours allowed director Frank Darabont to include much of his vision. However, some scenes were cut from the final film. Interviews with the cast and crew revealed that these deleted scenes would have added more context to important characters and their relationships. One of the cut scenes showed Paul Edgecomb's first day working at Coal Mountain Penitentiary. This scene would have made it clear that Paul had never worked on death row before, highlighting his moral journey. We would have witnessed this idealistic young man slowly realizing the actual demands of his job. Another deleted scene included moments with Jan Edgecomb, Paul's wife, played by Bonnie Hunt. These scenes would have shown how Paul's experiences affected his home life and relationship. especially when he first talks about John Coffey. For fans of The Green Mile, these missing scenes offer an interesting perspective on the film. They suggest different narrative options not explored and character depths not fully shown in the final cut. Michael Clarke Duncan, from bodyguard to Oscar nominee. Michael Clarke Duncan's transformation into John Coffey in The Green Mile is a remarkable story in Hollywood. Before this role, Duncan was a 6'5", nearly 300-pound man who worked as a ditch digger and bodyguard for celebrities. He only had small acting roles in which he played tough characters. He was scared to audition for the complex role of John Coffey. He almost skipped it because he felt he wasn't actor enough. Despite his nerves, Duncan delivered the famous monologue and impressed director Frank Darabont, who quickly recognized his talent. To prepare for the role, Duncan worked with acting coach Larry Moss, observed children, and softened his appearance. Tom Hanks supported him during filming and helped him gain confidence. When the movie came out, critics praised Duncan's performance. He received nominations for an Academy Award and a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor, an extraordinary achievement given his limited experience. Even though he lost the Oscar to Michael Caine, this nomination changed his career and led to roles in The Whole Nine Yards, Planet of the Apes, and Daredevil. Duncan's journey from bodyguard to Oscar nominee shows his hidden talent and the courage to take unexpected opportunities. The film's second life. The Green Mile did well at the box office but wasn't a huge hit. It opened in December 1999 and earned $36 million in the US, which was a good return on its $60 million budget. But it wasn't the blockbuster numbers some expected from a Tom Hanks movie. The film found its audience through home video and cable TV. People often want to share it with someone they care about when they discover it. It became popular through word of mouth, making it one of the most watched films on cable and a consistent bestseller on DVD. The film is about patience and viewing life from a long-term perspective, which requires patience from viewers. It's not a casual movie. It needs your full emotional attention. People may not want that in theaters, but are more open to it at home. By 2020, the film had established itself as a modern American classic, appearing often on lists of the most emotionally powerful films ever made. What started as a risky adaptation became more than just a box office success. It became part of America's cultural heritage. The legacy, why The Green Mile endures. As The Green Mile approaches its 25th anniversary, it remains a strong film that resonates with audiences. It examines important themes like the fear of death, hope for miracles, and the complicated nature of compassion within flawed systems. Unlike many forgotten dramas, The Green Mile asks difficult moral questions and does not provide simple answers. The film encourages viewers to think about capital punishment and racial injustice, making it memorable. Its careful examination of justice, mortality, faith, and redemption distinguishes it from simpler inspirational films, highlighting our ability to show compassion in challenging situations. The Green Mile feels like truth rather than just entertainment. This is thanks to its thoughtful design, from the detailed prison set to Michael Clarke Duncan's impressive performance. This attention to detail is why it continues to impact viewers after nearly 25 years. If you enjoyed this discussion, consider watching The Green Mile again with a fresh perspective. Notice elements like the green color and how the weather reflects character emotions. Watching this film with someone new can also make the experience memorable. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more film insights, and share your favorite moment from The Green Mile in the comments. We all face death, but sometimes The Green Mile feels very long.